Hello and welcome to the Refix TV Quarantine Edition. It's actually quite hard to breathe in that thing, but yeah, welcome to another video. A lot has changed well, since the last video. I'm sure you're all aware of the COVID-19 outbreak. Quite a bit's changed in the UK over the past few days and weeks even. I'd probably say we're going to be in quarantine within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm currently already self-isolating. My girlfriend is showing a few of the symptoms, so I've cut myself off from society and I'll be staying in, which has freed up a lot of time for me to make these videos. So hopefully that works out for me. So this video is going to be the first of my repair videos, which is funny because it's actually the main reason I wanted to start a channel. I feel like a lot of people don't really bother with repairing things anymore. It's not really their fault. I just think society's kind of changed where we're so aware that things are quite cheap to replace. So we replace instead of repairing, and I guess I'm quite a green person. Like, I've never really been into throwing away things just because. So I've always liked fixing things, I like that sense of pride, and when you repair something it just feels good, and it's nice to know that that doesn't have to go into landfill. So yeah, this is going to be the first one. This is going to be a controller repair, an Xbox One controller repair to be precise. I'm not 100% certain on the format of these repair videos in the future. This one I've already recorded a load of footage and I'm just going to talk over it for you now. So hopefully that works out. I've also repaired a Nintendo Switch recently. I've done the same thing. I've just recorded footage and just thought, you know what, I might make a video. So hopefully with all this free time I can put something together for you. So yeah, this is, as I said, it's an Xbox One controller. The Y button wasn't working. It was handed to me by my girlfriend's brother, and yeah, it was in a bit of a state, but I had to go anyway, and yeah, well, you'll see the outcome anyway, so let's see. So yeah, as you can see, the controller's in a bit of a state, and the Y button just wasn't working, which was the main problem. So this is the Xiaomi Wow Stick, my all-time favorite Christmas present at the disgust of my girlfriend who gave it to me. If you're in the market for an electric screwdriver, I strongly suggest you go out and buy it because it's been great. You don't realize how much you need one until you actually get one, so do it. So moving on with the repair. As you're about to see, I'm disassembling the controller and somebody's already been in it. The warranty sticker is actually already broken. So anybody that's into repairs knows that this is the worst thing you can see, because it probably means that the person who opened it couldn't repair it. So it's one of those things, you never know if it's repairable or whether the person just didn't have the knowledge, the skill set, but we continue anyway. As you can see, I'm actually struggling here. I've never opened one of these Xbox One controllers before. Don't bother with these green tools, they're terrible for this kind of thing. Just get your nails under them and just pull it out. It feels like you're going to break it, but you're not, so don't worry. So as you can probably see here, there's quite a bit of corrosion on the board. This is a bad sign. This usually means water damage, and a lot of the time this isn't repairable. So I was actually quite surprised to see that the Xbox One controllers have soldered in rumble motors. I'm only really used to the Xbox 360 controllers and they didn't feature this. If you plan on repairing an Xbox One controller, don't try and work around the soldered in rumble motors. You probably will fail, so just save yourself some time and desolder them. As you can see, there's quite a bit more corrosion on the secondary board. So with a complete disassembly, we can get to both sides of the board and hopefully get it cleaned up. Beautiful. So here I'm just spraying on some IPA, isopropyl alcohol, and just cleaning up the board with an old toothbrush, hopefully to get rid of some of this corrosion. I also did this with the rubber membranes in case they were preventing correct continuity with the contact points. So here I'm just testing a few of the points, literally just following the traces from the Y button to its next point along the line, and it was seemingly fine. So got a little bit wishful here and thought that that was the complete fix for the controller. Now you could probably already tell from the length of the video that this was not the case. This was not going to be the fix. Absolute waste of my time. Yeah, the Y button is still not functioning, as we already knew, so there's a little bit of a jump here. I think I managed to lose one of the video files, so I'll have to fill you in. So I actually ended up following the traces for the Y button all the way around the board, which isn't particularly easy. But then I got to this point where this sticker was, so I'm going to include some pictures so you can see a little bit closer. But I noticed that the sticker had a little bit of corrosion, and a slight bubbling of the board. So I decided to peel it back, and one of the vias had like expanded, which obviously would have broken the continuity from the top to the bottom of the board. So I decided to have a look at that and go from there. So I'm just testing the points slightly off camera here, and I've noticed that the Y button to this via basically wasn't working, and there was no continuity from the top to the bottom of the board at this point. So I have really bad eyesight, so my phone came in really handy because this this magnifying glass was absolutely terrible. So it could be a good little tip for you guys in the future. If you ever can't see anything properly, take a photo and just zoom in like that. So here I've tested the points. I know where I've got a break in the connection, and I'm just following the points so I can run a jumper cable from one side of the board to the other. So I'm just scraping back the via, well, the next via on the board, and running a jumper cable. So you just scrape off the green mask and solder directly to that point. I advise getting a good set of tweezers for something like this because it can get quite fiddly. I need to remember to look at the camera, not the monitor that I've got slightly below, so if you're wondering where I'm looking, then that's where. So when doing these jumper cables, I do advise just using a little bit of hot glue, because sometimes, like if you were to drop the controller, or even just putting the controller back together, sometimes you can actually end up pulling off this jumper cable and you've undone all your work then at that point. So that's the jumper cable complete, glued into place, soldered in as well, and just testing the point. So I'm testing the point from the contact pad on the Y button all the way to the point where I've just connected the jumper cable, and as you probably just heard, it was working, it was beeping, so it's a good sign. Time for a good clean. This thing was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So I'm just reassembling the controller at this point. I'm going to save you some time and skip through all of this. And it's complete. Okay, so here goes the test. Still working, which is good to know. Hold on. Oh, would you look at that? And everything is still working. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, it was a complete success. I was really happy with this one because I was 100% sure I wouldn't be able to fix it. I have absolutely no knowledge of electricity or electronics or anything. I'm just not scared to try things, and I kind of think that's where we all should be. I think there's, as I said before, there's a lot of waste in the world, and I think a lot of people never actually bother to try and repair things because things are so cheap. But at the same time, we've also got to think about the waste as well. So never be scared to try something. Give it a go. Try and repair it, because just like I've done with this controller, you could save yourself £40 and you can save it from going into landfill as well. So hopefully the format of this video has been sufficient. I think I'm going to be doing future repair videos in this format as well. I think it's a little bit easier rather than talking while I'm trying to repair the item at the same time. I've repaired a Nintendo Switch recently as well, so I've recorded that in the same kind of style, so I'm going to be overlaying that probably next. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you. And this is my all-time favorite Christmas present at the disgust of my girlfriend who gave it to me. Sasha.